Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to the KaiNexus Continuous Improvement Podcast. I'm Mark Raven, and we're joined today by Lori Avital. She is one of our customer success managers, and we're going to be hearing a little bit about why she joined the company and what she does. So, Lori, thanks for joining us. How are you?
I'm good. Really happy to be here and excited to share everything about KaiNexus.
And it's great to have you as part of the team, and it'll be good to hear a little bit of your backstory. And as we are doing in this series, we're talking to people about why they joined KaiNexus. So, Lori, what's your story?
Sure. So my background has pretty much always been in tech. I started at Oracle, which is kind of a massive software corporation, and I've slowly worked my way down to kind of smaller startup companies. And I think that that experience has in many ways shaped what I believe to be hugely important about kind of company culture. And for me, it's really important to feel kind of aligned with the goals and the vision of the company as a whole, because otherwise I don't really feel like the work that I'm doing is kind of consistent with my own beliefs. And for me, a lot of that has to do with working with a smaller company. I think it's easier to kind of feel like you play a part in shaping the culture, and your work and kind of your own everyday actions kind of drive the direction of the ship, so to speak. So I think why I joined KaiNexus was for two reasons. The first is I kind of love the size, and throughout the entire interview process and kind of in my throughout my work experience here, I've really felt that my voice from the very beginning has been heard. I think from higher up, from Greg and Jeff, and from my manager Taylor, it's been they haven't only wanted to hear my feedback, but it's also in many ways been expected, which I think kind of leads into the second reason, which is I feel personally aligned with kind of the goal and the mission of the software, which is kind of continuous improvement. And I think that this idea of perpetually striving towards a state of change, with the goal not necessarily being the end state of perfection, but rather understanding that this constant iteration is necessary. I think that's aligned with my own personal beliefs that we have to kind of continue to change and evolve in order to kind of become better. And I think that's why I joined, but I felt, from the first day that that's not only kind of our mission with our customers, but also internally. It's been really amazing for me to see the extent to which we're constantly, evolving our internal processes, how we're arranged as an organization to kind of reach that state of constant iteration and to be internally continuously improving.
I love how you kind of summarize and encapsulate that continuous improvement mindset, touching on the things that we do want to be part of the culture. Like you said, input, not just being welcome, but being asked for, and using that as a way, we do our best to practice what we preach around continuously improving ourselves and our processes and the company and the software, because that's what our customers are doing.
Absolutely.
So to the customer, in your role, for people who are listening who, maybe don't know what a customer success manager does, can you talk about that role? Can you talk about, not just what you do, but what that means to you, Lori?
Totally. Yeah. And I think customer success manager is a bit of an amorphous term because it can mean so much, and so many different things in different places. And there were some things that, I expected about the role, and some things that I think are really particular to kind of performing the role at KaiNexus. I think most basically the role of the customer support manager is to kind of be the voice of the customer both internally, so kind of advocate on behalf of our customers to product or to engineering, or to sales, and make sure that the voice of the customer is heard, kind of throughout the company. But then additionally, there's an aspect of kind of customer support. So I'm kind of I'm also the voice of KaiNexus to the customer, so to
Mhm.
speak. So I'm meeting with them on a regular cadence. I'm going through anything as far as kind of product enhancements to kind of small technical changes. I think I think of myself more as kind of a continuous improvement consultant, in the sense that I'm trying to really make sure that the KaiNexus software is aligned both with the customer specific use case as well as kind of the goal of continuous improvement, more generally. So it takes, a lot of different, there's a lot of different aspects to it, but I think again, it's really trying to support the customer,
Mhm.
both from kind of a technical standpoint as well as a more, kind of mission driven, goal oriented standpoint.
Mhm. And it sounds like you were in that, excuse me, you were in that role or you were in a similar role at previous companies?
Yeah, so my background, and the reason that I love the customer success role so much is that I do think it combines two facets of my experience. The first is I came from a sales background at Oracle, which is that kind of account management, really kind of this aspect of building a relationship with a customer. And then after sales, I was working, at a financial technology startup called Juniper Square in the product operations capacity. So that was kind of a more technical side where I was, bringing over customer data from pre-existing systems into the Juniper Square platform, kind of collating, cleaning that data, and making sure that the Juniper Square, software use case was aligned with kind of the overall, customer goals. So I think my role at KaiNexus really nicely merges those two, kind of skill sets.
Mhm.
Obviously, there's this aspect of account management, making sure that I'm really building a relationship with my customers, and that's something that I really truly enjoy doing. I think each customer is interesting, and each getting to know kind of their roles and how they fit into their companies is something that I
Mhm.
really enjoy. And then on the other side, there's this technical aspect of obviously understanding KaiNexus, really getting into kind of the minutia of the software, and being able to kind of make these small changes, but then additionally making sure again that the use case of KaiNexus is aligned with the specific use case of each of the customers. And I
Mhm.
think that the two of those things together definitely defines what I think, the KaiNexus customer success role is. And,
Mhm.
I think for me, it works really well because it's two things that I'm really interested in.
Well, it does sound like there's good alignment between what we do and how we go about it and the role for you, Lori. We do care deeply about the success of our customers, and as other companies would say, our customer success drives our success. And so it's great that we've got you and others, in that role, really helping our customers come along, because it's not just all right. Well, where do I click? How do I use the software? It goes beyond that, as I think you are articulating really well. What's the whole package that we can help them with?
Exactly. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. Well, Lori, I'm glad you're part of the team, and thank you for coming on the podcast today and sharing a little bit about your background and why KaiNexus has been a good fit for you. So again, our guest has been Lori Avital. She's one of our customer success managers here at KaiNexus. So thanks again, Lori.
So much. It was great to be here.